time for the Salt and Sass podcast, when we share our love for the wonderful world of board games with you, whether you're a gaming veteran or just starting your tabletop journey. Welcome to episode 85. I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Mandi.
That was a weird...
I know, it was like...
I don't know. Rhythm is all off. I don't know. It's the post-holiday excesses starting to kick in. At the time of this recording, it's after Christmas and things like that. And when this episode drops, Happy New Year's. We're dropping December 31st. Happy New Year's Eve to everybody out there who's listening on the day that the new episode drops. I hope you have a wonderful celebration or not. You can be like me and be in bed by 10 o'clock.
I mean,
no judgment.
I'm still wearing my pajamas while we record this.
This is the way. This is the way. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mandi, you know, we're going to talk about games, things like that. It's the end of the year. There's nothing on crowdfunding. We'll skip crowdfunding, but we'll serve up a fun kind of end of the year game pie. But a couple of things to talk about beforehand. So, you know, we celebrate Christmas kind of in my family. It's not a big deal to us, but who doesn't like trees and presents, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So this year, my teenage son asked for, and because my kids are spoiled, he asked for a 3D printer, and he got one.
Nice. Okay, so now for those who are enthusiasts or perhaps looking to acquire one, I already have one in mind. Which model or make did you get?
Well, my colleague at Restoration Games, Beth, is super into it. So I took her advice, and we ended up going with a Bambu brand because it's easy. Like, I don't want to get into this, so to say, so it's the easiest to use, very smooth, very professional, and things like that. So we got a Bambu P1S.
Nice,
I think.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
And we fired it up and printed out a couple of first things. And I gotta say, it's cooler than I thought it would be.
Yep.
It's pretty awesome. And I was looking online, and there are tons of free files and in the Bambu system, because they have like this Maker Lab thing, where inserts for every game, you can find like inserts that you can print out, also like trays if you just want dice trays or bit trays to have on the table, plus a bajillion other things. Oh boy. Boy, I can see this going in a bad way, but I'm pretty excited about it. So what are you looking at getting, Mandi?
Yeah, so I think I've had a chat on the channel with my friend Stefan, who has quite a few printers. And after speaking with him, I was like, oh, you know what? Instead of me asking you to print all this stuff for me, I should just get one myself. So he recommended the same brand, so Bambu, but the A1 combo. For those who are like, what's the difference between a regular A1 and then the combo? It's just a matter if you want to print multiple colors versus just one color, like having to load. I like automatic. So if this will just like go to, do the multicolored thing on its own, I want that. So it's reasonable. And this is one they recommend for like beginners, which would be me. Mine's open versus the one that you have. It's like it's more of a contained system, which I think looks really nice, versus the A1, which is more open. So it's not boxed in anything. But the price is right. It's on sale right now, I think, for like $3.35 Canadian or something like that, which is reasonable. And you just have to buy the filament, so the things to make.
Well, sure.
The material to make whatever it is you want to make. So, and I'm not going to lie, I'm really excited about this filament because I'm like, oh, there's sparkly ones. There are, ones that are like ombre. Anyway, I'm very excited. I already have a list of things that I probably don't need, but I'm going to do anyway. So I'm hoping to pick it up right after we record this.
Ooh, well, that's what my friends all say, is that once you invest in the printer, the filament, the quote unquote, the filament is cheap.
Sure.
Maybe that, I think it's just because you need less filament, I don't know, per piece or things like that.
Right.
So we'll have to compare our adventures. I've got to figure out what board game inserts and bits I want to print up first. It does some impressive stuff. Like we've made, for my kiddo, we made fidget toys.
Nice.
That they literally have moving parts, and this printer is so precise. It like we printed this ring, and it has little pieces. It's two rings, and then it's got pieces that connect them like a gear. And then you can like spin the outer ring. You can just hold it. It's a fidget toy, right?
Yeah.
But it all prints in one piece. You just hit print, and it zzz, and then you got it and you kind of shake it loose a little bit and it moves. It's got so many, I don't know how they do it. It's amazing. Engineers are phenomenal. I'm glad I don't have to design any of that, and I could just take advantage of the generous community and download files and print it. So that's our new toy. I'm very excited for my friends that are local that listen to the podcast. If you need something 3D printed, hit me up because I got to explore this thing more.
No, I'm so glad that you've jumped on it. I've been putting it off for a while, but I mean, when you have friends who have multiple 3D printers, I'm like, let me take advantage of this knowledge, and then I could just do it myself. And I have to keep asking them, you know? So now I can start printing Christmas ornaments for my mom, or that D&D box that I really want to find the file for.
Well, and they can be, I mean, even, you know, granted you found a nice one that's on sale, but $300 is still a lot of money.
Let's be clear. I got money for Christmas. That is why I am buying this.
And that's great.
It is a lot of money.
But that said, I can already see if you're a game designer, this is a tool that you should really consider because you can print custom dice. You can design, if you're doing a prototype for a game and you need custom dice and you don't want to use stickers on blanks or things like that, you can do a lot of stuff with this. You can do custom tile. Like, there's so much you can do with it. I can already see the potential. I'm not a game designer, but I can see how it would be an amazing tool for game designers. So,
absolutely.
Anyway. All right. So, Mandi.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I was going to say something to consider to validate your point.
Yeah. Anything I can do to justify this purchase. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's talk about some of the video games that we've been playing, and then we'll jump into all the lovely board games.
Yeah, so, well, I've been playing a lot of little games lately, one being Dogpile, and I know I saw that you also got this one.
Yes. Thank you to my friend Nicole for helping, who mentioned this game to me, and I got it. What do you think, Mandi?
No, it's great. I was watching, there are a couple gamers on, you know, Instagram or whatever that I follow. And there was this one where our tastes generally align. And he had mentioned this game. And I was like, oh, it has dogs and it looks cute. And it has some kind of deck building thing into it. Okay, yeah, let me check this out. And of course, you know me, it was on sale. Now, not as much on sale as I would have liked, but I think it was like 30 or 40% off. So I think it cost me like $8 Canadian. I can live with that. And at first, I didn't really know what I was doing, but you get these, you have cards and they have images. Some have images of dogs on them. Some are like trainer cards, so it'll be like a leash or other things. And then there are dog tags and things you can acquire, which are like, will kind of boost your abilities in the game, passive abilities. So when you start, you have this like open ground area on the screen and you're like, okay. And then you have some cards with some like little dogs on them, you know, not too much variety. You're like, okay. So you take the card, and I was like, what do I do with this? Because I don't watch tutorials. I like to figure it out on my own. And I pulled it down. I'm like, oh, okay, I see. The dog comes into the little area. I was like, okay, is this like Tetris? Like, am I supposed to try and fit them in? And then I was like, okay, let me pull another one in. So I pulled one in that was the same type of the small dog, and it landed on top of the other dog. I'm like, oh, it just became a new dog. So, you know, you're trying to make these different types of dogs because you're trying to get bones. And by putting them together, you get like bone points or whatever. You have this little like meter on the side. So every time you put them together or passive abilities are triggering because of the way you've set it up, you'll get more bones to reach this goal. And if you don't reach this goal by the end of the round or however many hands you've played, you'll get something bad that happens. Like your dogs have fleas and that means they can't, like their abilities don't trigger for the next round or whatever, stuff like that. And eventually what happens, like, yeah, it's going great. You can't go past a certain point in this kind of area where you can place the dogs. And unfortunately, if they kind of spill over or come out, you've got like a timer that goes like, hey, you got to pull the dogs back in. Otherwise, game over. And then you just have to start all over again. So it sounds really silly, but it's really fun. And I've been playing an obscene amount of it on my Steam Deck because it's easy to play on the Steam Deck. This is great. I have a feeling this I think this could be a good like phone app. If it isn't already, I don't know. But I do think this would be one that'd be cool to play on the phone. But anyway, Dogpile is fun and it's super cute.
I totally agree. I didn't quite know what to expect when I loaded it up, but then
me too. Yeah.
I saw the video and I kind of got it. Some of you all out there might be familiar with a game called Suika, the Suika game,
I
Suika.
these games.
And this is like a combo. This combines Suika
I didn't
with
think about that.
deck building
Yeah.
kind of thing. So because Suika is where you're dropping fruits and fruits will combine and then grow to be a bigger fruit and then they combine and you lose when exactly what you described. But it combines that with dogs and then with deck building. And it just has totally charmed me. It pulls all the great things from Suika. I like to get the one where the dogs bark and it makes the little dogs jump and then they can collide.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, or they like pull to each other.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
It's real fun. It's real good. I think they captured what people were in love with Suika, but added just enough. And the different builds and things like that are really great. So I love that we both have that one.
Yeah.
And for me personally, thanks, Nicole, for the recommendation.
Okay,
Speaking of recommendations, Mandi, you told me about Nubby's Number Factory.
The name.
Bee's Number Factory. Thanks for that recommendation. It's it's like a brick breaker or Plinko almost. Yeah, somewhere in there. And it's just numbers. It's like, it's just numbers. It's like 8 goes to 16, 16 goes to 32. Yeah. And as you knock them down, they plink down as you're launching things at them. But you can improve the balls that you're shooting at it. And they have different powers. And then there's different things that will cause the numbers to trigger separately or things like that. And you can, get relics. Again, kind of leaning into this huge swing of roguelike games where you can create builds and do runs.
Right.
And I actually talked about this online recently that Nubbies reminds me that because anybody who knows me knows I'm very against generative AI art and hate everything about it. And Nubbies Number Factory, I think, is a great reminder that you don't need specific art to make a great game.
Absolutely, because it's a vibe when you see it.
It looks like it was made in the 90s.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The graphics they are I can't even describe them. Go look it up.
You said 90s, it reminded me of a game that was in its like prototype phase, and it's a company that was new and didn't really have the money to like go and hire some like crazy artist, and which for me totally fine. But yeah.
Well, and the comparison I drew was to a game called Dream Quest. So Dream Quest was released down about, it's like 15. So Dream Quest, if you don't know Dream Quest, and we've talked about it a couple of times on podcasts, Dream Quest is like the original roguelike deck builder. Now, deck builders existed, but I'm pretty sure Dream Quest is the first game that really took it into this roguelike system, this dungeon delve system where cards were used to battle. It is absolutely one of the most, when we're talking about video games, we're always talking about roguelike so-and-so, right?
Right.
And when you look at roguelike deck builders, Dream Quest is the one. Go look at this game. If you have not seen Dream Quest, go look at that game. Go look at the art.
Yes.
Right? Dream Quest, Nubby's Number Factory, I think. Because if you look at the reviews of Nubby's Number Factory, people love it.
Yeah.
It's got an overwhelmingly positive rating. That's how much people love this game. And go look at the aesthetics of it. I can't describe it. You just have to go look. So anyway, Mandi, thank you for that recommendation. I've just been digging it.
No, I'm so happy to hear that. Because again, this was a recommendation from that channel that I watch. And I was like, okay. I mean, just looking at it, I'm like, I don't know if I would have gotten it, but I was like, so
you have to recommend the channel to me. I gotta check this out.
And I don't have the name on hand. I'll definitely have to send it to you. But I don't mind playing it on the Steam Deck, but the controls are a little bit different. So because I don't think it's one of those like Steam Deck approved games. It's playable, 100%. But the controls are just a little different, so that is something to consider. Because I think you end up having to use the mouse pad a little bit, if I recall. I can't remember. I just remember being a little different. But yeah. Very glad you enjoyed that. Well, the last game I'm going to talk about, which is not even remotely board game adjacent at all, is Supermarket Simulator. Now,
it's a sim game. I mean, board games, there are sim board games.
Fair enough. I mean, I love Power Wash Simulator, and I've been playing a little bit of Power Wash 2 Simulator. I played Farming Simulator, which was fine. I found that one more challenging, which is okay, but I wanted something more chill. And Supermarket Simulator, well, actually, that can be a little stressful sometimes, but I like it. And you're literally just setting up your store. Right now, I'm still, painted the walls and everything. But you have bills. Like, you got bills to pay. I have staff. I got to pay my staff. I got to order food. But I just got, like, upgraded things. So I can just scan the shelf and do an order. Got a couple loans. Not so crazy about that. We're going to pay those off next time. But it literally is like you're running your own grocery store, trying to obviously make a profit. And like, it's one of those things, like, never ever ending. It's going to be a long build to kind of get that like super grocery store and keep it running. But sometimes I just like these games before bed. I'm like, yeah, let me just stock the shelves and do a thing, do my deliveries. And I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun. And I think it actually has decent reviews online. Super simple, like, aesthetic of the game. Like, you can tell they just, people that visit your store, it's the same like 5 people, just in different fonts. So Supermarket Simulator, if you like the simulator games, I definitely think if you're more like Power Wash would be like your super basic, and then the next step would be Supermarket Simulator, and then after that I think you're getting into like the farming ones, the flying ones, like they're just a little more intense. So yeah, something, if you just want something different, but feel like making your own grocery store.
There you go. Well, the last video game I'll mention is that, the holidays and people get together and things like that. And how do you entertain a 13-year-old and a 17-year-old and my old butt? And, how do you have, well, and so I leaned into the Jackbox party games
Nice.
a little bit, and some were more of a hit than others, but I've played them with my adult friends a fair amount because, but they worked, some of them worked better than others, but they worked pretty well for us. The Trivia Murder Mystery
Oh, that's
Party.
fun. Yeah, that's fun.
Oh my gosh, I had not played that one before. It is so fun, right? You answer, you're in a haunted mansion, and it's like a little bit of a goofy horror movie, whatever. And you just answer trivia questions. You buy somebody has to buy Jackbox, right? And then you start the game. And then everybody on their smart device can log into the game code, and then they just play from the phone. So you're all sitting in the room, and yes, you're on your phone, but you're playing the game together. And it enables you to, okay, now here's this trivia question that pops up. Everybody's typing the answer into their phone, and then the game is like, oh, you got this right. Well, in Trivia Murder Mystery, if you get it wrong, you get like the slasher in the haunted house gets you. But the game is very smart. It has a catch-up mechanism. You're not out. You can catch up and you can steal life from somebody who's ahead of you. And there are little challenges. Like there was a typing challenge. Like, type this.
Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying and type it. And whoever types the most words accurately wins the challenge, kind of thing. It was so fun. It was a really great way to spend a few hours with a mixed group of people, right? Who have different interests. And it was nice to remember that these games exist. There's also a cookie decorating one that was real dumb, but real fun. Just saying. Anyway, we played some Jackbox over the holidays. So there you go.
Very cool. Those are fun games. That's a good one.
All right. We're going to skip crowdfunding because
not too much.
There are campaigns running. Bless your hearts out there, everybody trying to run your campaigns right now.
Yes.
We'll rejoin next year. But we do have games we've been playing.
Yes.
So, Mandi, how do you want to... Because I think you've got a big one.
Yeah, I know you have a few more, but I have one big one, and, Let
me just jump in real quick with this one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll jump in first.
You do your thing.
And because this is going to be quick, because over the break, I played Clue Escape, the Illusionist Club with my friends. And it's an escape room game, so it's full of spoilers. This is not going to be spoilers, so it's going to be real quick. A while ago, like over a year ago, I also talked about another Clue game that was similar. And I got to say, I think I just like this series. I think they do a good job. It's published by Hasbro. And I think that in the hobby gamer system, we all have a little bit of skepticism around mass market, mass produced games. But
sure.
The Clue Escape series feels pretty solid. This particular one is attributed to George Feldachuk, David Rideau, and Leo Taylor, with illustrations by Henning Ludvigsson, and it's $17, right? Okay. It is one-time use, but it is resettable. So $17, you play it with a group of friends, you can hand it off to another group of friends, sell it, whatever. Now, I picked Illusionist Clubs because it is rated 4 out of the 5 difficulty. I think that's mass market scaling.
Okay,
I didn't find it particularly challenging.
Okay.
Not to say I didn't find it fun. So in the Illusionist Club, it's Clue. So you've got Chef White, you've got Colonel Mustard, you've got Mr. Green, all those known characters. And in this particular one, you're going to a magic show and the magician has disappeared. So you're trying to solve what happened to the magician, where they are, that kind of thing. And basically you get a board, you get decks of cards that are, don't open this deck of cards. And then you get a starter board and it's got locations on it. And you go to a location with your little pawn and then you find the card that matches it. You read it, you get puzzles, you get clues, you get backstory, and you're trying to work your way through to get to this thing. I thought what I liked about it, there were one or two puzzles that we actually had to look up a hint. And after we figured out that, what I liked is it didn't feel unfair. We didn't get it, but you know how like sometimes you play these escape room games and you're like, well, how the heck was somebody going to get to that solution? Right. It feels way out of left field. The nice thing about this is that it didn't, when we got the hint, we're like, okay, I get that. Right. And that's how I want to feel. If I don't get a puzzle, I want to feel like it's my failing, not the game's failing. And that's how I felt in this one. So you go through it, there are some real clever little things where the board expands and new locations are added that I really, really like. I think it's simple. The components are all the illustrations look great, but the component quality is very flimsy. The cards are real cheap. As they should be. It's a one-time use game and it costs $17. I have zero issues with that. I highly recommend it. We had a great time. Super fun, affordable, escape room, puzzly, fun little story. Clue Escape, the Illusionist Club. I liked it. I like this series. I'm actually going to go pick up another one in it just for us to play because it was a nice, like, we're tired. We don't want to do anything heavy. Like, what do we want to do? It was great. So there you go.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear because you're right. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know, like how good is this going to be? But I do love Clue, so there's that. But maybe this is one that I have to try. We'll have to see.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay, this is good to know. Now, I know there was a game that you wanted to revisit. Do you want to do that before I dig in?
Oh no, I'll do that next episode. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, speaking of kind of escape room type games, puzzle games, we played the Morrison Game Factory. I don't know. Have you played this one?
I backed it, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
That was me. I backed it and it had been sitting there. And I was like, you know what? I think I had a game night. It's like right before the holidays. I'm like, I don't think anyone's going to be there. A couple of people that I normally play with were like, yeah, we're going to be there. Let's toss it on the table. So the Morrison Game Factory is designed by Lauren Bello. Art is by Steve Thomas and is published by Post Curious. And I have to say, I do enjoy quite a few of the Post Curious games. This is 1 to 4 players. And it plays in it says 100 to 240 minutes. And I'd say this is actually pretty accurate. So, because we started at about 6:30 and we finished at about 9-ish, 9 o'clock, give or take. So they define the Morrison Game Factory as a narrative puzzle adventure-based board game. So it's one that you're going to, it is meant to be a shorter experience, and I think it is a bit more accessible. So it's not going to be super, super complicated. They do have other puzzles, but this one is one that's meant to be a bit more, I don't want to say easier necessarily, but it just may not be as challenging as some of the others. So the theme took me a minute to figure out at first, because when you open the box, you get, and it just has a letter that says, read this letter, but then it doesn't really, you can open whatever you want. So it's not one of those ones like stop here, don't read here, just says start reading this letter, and then you can open like the file, which has some information. There's a little pouch that's locked. So you're like, you're going to have to figure that out at some point. You've got a book that lists a bunch of games and stuff. And you're like, okay, great. So you get a lot of things that come out there and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. So this was us. We were a little stuck at first. You do need access to like a tablet or a phone or a computer, because there are some things that you're going to have to check. A lot of the narrative part is on there, and some codes and things like that you'll have to check using the phone or computer or whatever. So right away, we didn't really know where to start. So I think this is the only thing I was like, okay, like we didn't know what to do. So then we ended up going to the clue site, and to be fair, we didn't take like a full clue. And I do appreciate this. They said, maybe read this first before you take a hint. And we were like, okay, now we get it. Now we know where to start. So we didn't actually have to take the hint. And then after that, actually, we didn't have to take, I think we took maybe one light hint. And again, it was like, okay, we've already done that. We just needed to have that reiteration in our mind. So we played with more than 4 people. And I think that worked out fine because we were able to kind of be like, okay, you look at this, you look at this, you look at this. And then everyone took turns reading like the story. I don't want to give away too much, but the story's really cute. All I'm going to say, it involves a robot.
I had no idea. That's great.
Yeah, see, I didn't either. I didn't really get it. A robot that wants to live. That's all I'm going to say. It's really cute. And the story's really cute and fun. And there are a lot of like little clues in there, but enough that didn't make anybody feel alienated. Like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what's going on. So overall, we enjoyed the story. All the clues were really fun and interactive. Sorry, the puzzles were really fun and interactive. And there were some that, I don't want to give away too much, but there are some that definitely you're going to go, that was fun. Can we do it again? Which I thought was great. And it plays in a short amount of time. So definitely one that might be more approachable for like the general population. So I don't know if the post-Cures games are easily accessible to buy other than through... Yeah,
actually,
I'm not sure. Like, I know they have their own site. You'll see them on crowdfunding. You can get them in the game stores, but I don't know if they're in, like a Target or...
probably not, right?
I'm going to say probably not, but actually I could see them being like, so I don't know if you all have these in the States. We have Chapters Indigo, whatever
they're like a bookstore, right?
Bookstore,
yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
I could totally see it being in that environment. So maybe that's something they might do eventually. So the Morrison Game Factory, I really enjoyed it. It is on the lighter end of the spectrum, but I have a couple others that are in this neck of the woods, and I'm very excited to try those.
Yeah, I think Chapters is similar in the United States to Barnes & Noble.
That's it. Sorry, I couldn't think of what the equivalent of the American was. Yes, that's exactly what it would be.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I'm excited. That sounds adorable and amazing.
You'll love it.
I'm excited. All right, I wanted to talk about Propolis. Propolis is from Flat Out Games. I love Flat Out Games in general. This game is designed by the founders, Molly Johnson, Robert Melvin, Sean Stankwich, and illustrations by Dylan Mangini. And I didn't write down how much it cost, but it's like $30. And this is one of their smaller box ones. It's mostly a card game, but it combines worker placement, resource gathering, tableau building with a hint of area control, which is always interesting.
Yeah.
Your workers, so Propolis. I think what Propolis is, it's like the glue that bees use to build hives, I think, is what it is. So Propolis is a bee-themed game, just to be clear. This is all a bee-themed game. And so your workers are little wooden bees, and they are so cute. And they're called beeples. Beeples. Your bee meeples are called beeples. And I personally just say beeples all the time now because it's a fun word to say. Anyway, so you got these beeples, and you get like a little resource tracker board, but it's mostly cards. And cards will have fields, so there will be 5 different colors, and these are your resources that you're going to be gathering. And then there are beehives or little buildings or structures or whatever that you are going to be collecting. And basically, you're going to be gathering resources to collect or build these structures. And when a player gets to 10 structures in front of them, the game is over, and whoever has the most points wins. It's fairly straightforward in that element. So what's going to happen is you lay out these field cards, and they have a mix. Sometimes they'll have a mix or whatever of different colors on them. And then there'll be a market of those structure cards out there.
Right.
And when you're on your turn, you can put out beeples to collect your resources.
So cute.
If you already have beeples on a card, you can fortify, which means lay them flat, and you can get those resources again.
Yeah.
You can recall your bees. That's a cheapo action. You don't want to do that. Or you can build one of those houses. When you are sending out your beeples to collect resources, you get to put as many as you want on any single empty card. You never compete on a single card with another player, but you are competing against players for cards in the row. Because when all the cards in the row are full of beeples, then you figure out who has the majority of that row. Cards will go away, and then bees will be come back for free. You don't have to take a recall action, and that's what you want. So not only when they land, they're face up, you get those resources, and then if you choose a fortify action, you lie them down, and you get those resources again. But fortified bees count for 2 points for that area control as well. So there's a little bit of thoughtfulness around that. Meanwhile, great, you've collected a bunch of resources. You can choose to build one of the little structures. Structures cost resources, but many of them give you a benefit as well, like free resources. Think of Splendor. Like, this is absolutely going to be compared to and is reminiscent of Splendor, where you get jewelers or whatever, right? And they offer you, oh, now you always have a red jewel, that kind of thing. It's exactly the same thing here. Oh, now I always have 2 orange icons. Cool, right? Sometimes cards will cost bees, sometimes they'll give you bees. There you go. Game end at 10 structures. What you're really trying to do is a little bit of engine building, right? And you're looking at the market that's currently available going, okay, I really want that one. So I need to start working on these resources. You're looking at the fields and where those resources are available. Resources do have rarity, so purple is less common than yellow, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of strategy around like dominating those resources and being a butthead about it, as you will, and competing for those cards. Because at the end of the game, the cards themselves will have points, but many of them will also score based on what else you have. So if you have a set of A, B, C, D locations, or you will get points for every orange icon in your tableau, that kind of thing. So that's what you're trying to do to get those cards to maximize your points. So that's Propolis. It also has a solo mode, which just comes with a little extra deck, and you just flip over the cards, and the cards will dictate what the AI is doing, essentially taking cards out of the market, putting beeples out, and there's basic rules for that kind of thing. I've played it solo and multiplayer at this point, and I think it works well for both. I think I enjoy it more multiplayer, but the solo, like last episode I talked about a game where I'm like, I don't like it solo. This one I liked the solo. I thought the solo was pretty solid, but it's a really fun multiplayer game because it's that area control. It's that competition in that area control. It's just more engaging with other players. I will say the illustrations absolutely charm me. I love the style. It's bright. It's colorful. Each little house is different. It's fun to look at those details. And it is a game that, similar to some other flat out games in this series, like Point Salad, you really do need to pay attention to what's going on in the market, because that will determine the path that you want to take. You can't really lay out a strategy like you do with some Euro games ahead of time. This one, you got to go with where the game goes and what the game provides. And I like that kind of tactical play for kind of a quicker game. So Propolis, I really like it. I think it's charming. I love the beeples. I like the aesthetics. It's just a nice game. I like it a lot. So that's Propolis.
I have that on the shelf, and honestly, I don't know why I did not think that was about bees, but I didn't know what it meant. So
yeah.
I have learned something new. So there you go. Looking forward to giving that a go. Well, the last game that I'm going to talk about, because this is a big one, is Sweetlands. And Suzanne has this game as well. We've kind of touched on it a little bit. I've managed to play this game solo. I know. Solo, everybody. Spoiler, enjoyed it solo. I played it solo. I played it with 3 players and 4. So 2 players, the only one I haven't played. But I think it's a very similar experience to solo. So yeah, so just so you know that going in. Sweetland is designed by Tatsuka Cho. Art is by Tatsuki Asano and published by Uchibakoya. So you might be familiar with Uchibakoya because we've talked about Ostia and some other games that are quite good that we enjoy. It's 1 to 4 players. Says it's 100 to 200 minutes. Sure.
Yeah,
maybe not your first couple of games. It's a big one. And it retails for about 159 Canadian. So I know when I purchased mine, I just got like the basic one, but I know there were deluxe versions and things like that. So that's probably about what I paid. I don't know. Shipping was a lot. So just as a little tip before I jump into this, if you see Uchibakoya games on crowdfunding, that's probably your best place to get them, because I know I have friends looking for Ostia after I've taught it, and they're like, we can't get it in Canada. I think right now, United States is the only place right now you can get it. So just as something, if you're interested, check them out on crowdfunding as well. So Sweetlands, all I saw was Sweetlands. I'm like, oh, good, treats, confections. You're trying to build up your I'm not gonna use the technical terms, but the little houses look like little marshmallow houses and your little chocolate factories and your little things like that. You're trying to build that up. And the interesting about this game is that you have several boards. You have a main board for actions. You've got your personal board, which has all your little buildings and resources. And then you have another board, which is where you're going to be putting your tiles and putting out those buildings that you're trying to build. So you've got a lot happening. And that's not including outside things like tiles and other things that you're going to acquire in the game. The game is going to end after 5 rounds. And at the end of that, that's when you'll do your scoring and whatnot. So I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's a really big game, but I'll try my best to kind of give you an idea of how like the sections kind of work. So when you start the game, everybody gets a board, and the boards are really cool because you're actually going to slip in your player sheet in there. This is going to be your character sheet. And on that, you have like a special ability, tells you a little bit about your character, a little picture, and you can change those obviously for every time that you play a game, but you do have different starting resources or different starting abilities. So that might be something you want to look at before you choose one. And they are also asymmetrical. So they are the milestones on your board might be slightly different due to the characters that you're choosing. So everybody chooses one of those, slip those on your board, pull it down, and then now you're going to be able to put in like your buildings in certain spots. You're going to put your resources. Everyone has different starting resources, so you're going to set that up on the left side of your board. And there are little markers to help you do that. The resources are just cubes, like generic cubes that everybody gets in 1s, 5s, and 10s. And then you have like a little track that tracks your income. So that's what you'll get at the beginning of every income round. So that's all that. And your resources are like wood, steel, I was going to say hay, it's wheat, yellow, things like that. And then you have another board, and you can choose side A or B, and that's going to be a board of hexes, really. And there are different terrains on them. So you've got like your forest and farmland and that sort of thing. And you can choose sides A and B. Obviously, if you choose A, everyone's going to have the same. B, slightly different layout for you. And it'll also have ports and things like that you want to try and reach before the end of the game, or you're going to get some negative points. Not so good. So, of course, being gamers, we're like, straight to side B because we want that asymmetry. Yeah, I was going to make a rhyme there and never mind. Started, and then I was like, no, let's not do that. Okay.
What?
I started singing it. I was like, where am I going with this? Turn to side B because we like asymmetry. And then, yeah. Anyway.
It's never dull with you, Mandi.
No,
it's never dull.
It's a roller coaster, so hopefully you're still following here. So after you've chosen that side, and on there you'll have some starting spaces that you're going to build off of where you'll be building roads, pulling different terrains, and the reason why you want to do that is because that's where you're going to be putting those buildings you have on your board. And then building things obviously is going to get you different resources or different things. That's that. Then you've got the main board. And the main board is where you're going to be everyone's going to be doing actions. Now, when you play solo, there's like another kind of part to the main board. You don't play with that. When you have more players, it's like another board that gives you extra actions for the group. And when you take action in this game, this is really interesting. The biggest currency are your cards. So you start the game with 6 cards. And at the end of that round, you need to have at least 1 card in hand. You can never have 0 cards at any point during the round. So you're like, okay, great. How does that work? When you go to take an action on the board, you get these little yellow tokens. So you're like, I'm going to take the action of building, right? And it tells you what you need to do that or whatever the case may be. Great. I'm the first one there. So I discard one of my cards. And then I can put my little token there and do the action. Someone is there before you. You now have to discard 2 cards. Put your token in the second spot. And then so forth. So it goes up to 3 spaces. So you could potentially be losing 3 cards. So it gets a little pricey considering you can never have 0 cards in your hand at any point during the round. And then you have to have 1 card in your hand by the time the round ends. So yeah, it's tricky. So cards are important. And cards are not only currency in that effect. You can also run like automate. So you can tuck cards at the bottom of your board as an action. And there's something that, like, if you trigger that, you can automate it. So any card that you have has a symbol, you can get those things if you decide to do an automate action or that happens. But there are costs to put those cards out. Some of them could be 5 coins. Some of them are like 27. So it really just depends. And the cards in themselves have some complexity because they have tags and things like that that matter potentially for triggering other cards that you have. That's as much detail as I'll go into for the cards. So we've talked about your main board, which is going to have buildings. It has other tracks on there. You have like 2 trains that you can do, and the train track has different colors. It has green, it has yellow, depending on which train gets on that space. but it takes a while to get that green train out. You also have a little track for your bunny rabbits. I call them chocolate bunnies, which I never have used, by the way, in the game. It's a strategy. It just wasn't one for me. And you want to try and get those on your hex board once you've put some hexes out. Then you've got your buildings, and those are buildings you want to get on your hex board. So that's really it for that board. And then the main board is where you take your actions. And then you also have skill tiles that you can acquire, but you have to reach certain spaces in order to get those tiles. But they are tiles that can give you end game points, in-game points, one-shots. So those are those. And then we have the board at the top, which is going to determine, it's part of like income. So when we're determining, okay, I'm first player, great, I get to put my token here. And there are tiles, and depending on when the tile activates, it could be during income, it could be when you pass. Those are some extra things that you'll get. And then during your pass phase, you'll have to move to a different spot. And that'll trigger again, either at income or your next pass phase or whatever it may be. So that's something else that kind of gives you a little extra income. Trust me, you will need it in this game. So I think I've covered, literally not in super detail, all the things you're going to expect to see. Obviously, trying to get to a space first before someone else is great, because then you're not expending all of your cards just to get that spot. But there are some spots that allow you to kind of get a token, reserve it, and then when you go to play that token, it doesn't matter what spot you're in, you're not going to have to pay the card because you paid the card to get this token. So that's another spot that's super useful. One last thing, on the main board, there are some tracks, and depending on if you want to score on these tracks, you have to be actually on those tracks. So there are ways to push up on those tracks. If I want to score how many hexes I have on my board, you got to try and push up. Beginning, it might be just like 3 tiles to 1 point. For every 3 tiles you have, you get 1 point. The next section might be for every 2 tiles, 1 point. The last section, point for tile. Things like that. You also have another track that tracks your cities. You have a certain amount of cities together, buildings together, that makes a city, 3 or more, but you don't want to connect them to another city because now you just have one big city, right? You want to have multiple cities. That's another thing you have to do. So there are multiple scoring tracks. If you don't get on those tracks, you're not getting any points for those. So things that you have to consider. So that's as much detail as I'll go into the game, but Sweetlands is definitely where you're trying to vie for those spots and get those points for scoring, because there are scoring that happens every round, and then end game scoring as well. I explain that really fast because usually when you explain it to a group, it's like, it's going to take you like an hour at least.
Yeah.
So if you liked how that kind of sounded, even though it was super fast, I definitely think it's more than like if you were used to an Ostia. There's definitely more going on. I think it's rated at like a 4.1 from BGG. And I was telling Suzanne that, like, for me, I didn't find it super complicated, but it's a lot. Do you know what I mean? So like the first time we played, there's just a lot of things that you have to pay attention to. So I think that definitely lends itself into the rating. Versus like a Lacerda, to me, sometimes Lacerda games feel like it's a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in, like, it's like hard. This is also challenging, just in a different way. I think you just have a lot of things to consider versus just it being hard. If that makes sense. I love the theme. I definitely can see this is not going to be a game for everybody. You can't compare it to Ostia. They're not the same. I hear a lot of people, I liked Ostia better. Sure, they're different games. Completely different games. You know what I mean? Like the level of...
For real.
It's not the same. I hear it, and I hear it a lot. I hear a lot of people, it's great, and I appreciate that, but they're different games. I've definitely heard some people in my game group say, yeah, it's okay. I really enjoy it, to be honest, but this is like, I think if you have ADHD, this might be the game for you, because there are so many things you could do, and so many things you could not do, and still be okay. I've never used the bunny track, ever. And I still managed to score a decent amount of points. Do you know what I mean? I think it came in like second place, or I got over 200 points on my solo run without ever using bunnies. But your starting abilities are going to guide you into like, hey, maybe you should focus on cities. Maybe you should focus on the bunnies. It helps you, and you should really guide into that. So I like the amount of choices. I like the fact that I'm like, dang it, I don't have enough cards to do the thing. You start off with negative points. If you don't reach those docks on your board, you're going to have negative points. I think you start off in the hole at like minus 40. Points. So, there are things to consider that, maybe you should do this or offset it somewhere else. I like those kinds of games. So Sweetlands for me, I really enjoyed it. I think you're going to really like it, Suzanne. It's good.
Yeah, well, thank you for offering to like handhold and teach me the game remotely, because I'm definitely taking you up on that. But I love that, like, don't compare it to Ostia from a they're totally
different.
Like, I like Forest Shuffle better than I like Inish.
Yeah.
Cool. Happy for you.
Great. They're different.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
There you go.
People.
So Sweetlands,
People. Yeah. Get it together. Come on. All right, I'm going to wrap up with one pretty quick game. Dustbiters Pocket Edition.
Okay.
Although I find it funny that they have Dustbiters Pocket Edition when the original Dustbiters was not that big of a game. So
Okay.
Dustbiters is a 2-player game, and it was originally released a few years ago. And then Button Shy Games cut a deal with the original publisher, I Am 8-Bit Games, to republish it as a wallet game, one of their Button Shy wallet games. Awesome. Win-win for as far as I'm concerned. And I think they changed like 4 cards because the original Dustbiters is not that big of a game. But now we have Dustbiters Pocket Edition from Button Shy, and that's the version I'm going to be talking about. Designers Robbie Fraser, Jan William Neiman, and Terry Vellman, with illustrations by Terry Vellman. Button Shy Games means it's $12 for the base game, and there's a little micro expansion you can add as well. Yeah. 2-player only game. You are controlling cars racing against each other away from an approaching dust storm. So it kind of has a slightly Mad Maxy vibe, like if you've seen Fury Road and they go into that big dust storm that's taking over. Imagine that you're racing away from that with that dust storm coming. That's what you're doing. And basically, the game is over and the player wins when you manage to get everybody else's, like your opponent's cars are all in the dust storm and you're the last car standing. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. It's a wallet game, right? So it's 18 cards. Sure. You're going to deal out. You start with 3 cards. You lay 4 cards each player down into a row, and that's your car row. And then the dust storm's at the end of the car, and it's always coming. It's always going to eat the car at the end. And on your turn, you have 3 energy points, 3 action points that you can allocate. And there's a few things you can choose to use those on. You can draw a card into your hand. That's a big deal. Just saying. You can get a new card into your hand. You can place a card from your hand into the front of the line. You can move one of your cars forward or backwards a space, or all of the cars have special abilities and you can trigger a special ability. So you have 3 action points, and drawing a card takes an action point. Cool. Okay. The reason why it matters is some of those special abilities are really powerful, and the way to balance that is that it'll take like 2 energy points to use it. Okay. So maybe I draw a card and then I trigger a card that's already out there to use its action. Cool. You're escaping the dust storm. So why would you move a car backwards? Well, it's those special abilities. So a lot of them have to do with positioning in the line. So for example, one of the cars has an ability that you can destroy a car that's in between this car and another one of your cars. So you're trying to manipulate that line to optimize where you are, but to really take advantage of those special abilities as well and destroy other cars and knock them out. Because if you can destroy all your opponent's cars, you've won the game, right? So, and then some of the abilities are move cars around, move them to the front, move them to the back, swap them, that kind of thing. So you've got this rhythm going where you're drawing cards, you're playing cards and things like that. The draw is really important because if you don't have any more cards in your hand, you lose flexibility. So I thought that was really interesting. But, it's a wallet game, 2-player only, shuffle up the deck, deal out a few cards. It sets up in 12 seconds. Yeah. And it's really solid. It is really, really solid. I love the card illustrations, the card names. It's very thematic. It's such a simple game in so many ways, but that's what I want out of this style game. I want quick, I want simple, I want straightforward, that has vibes. And Dustbiters is a game that has the vibes cemented in some real solid competitive gameplay. You're going to play it in like 10 minutes. So if you want a portable, simple 2-player game that's got a lot of atmosphere and is it's almost puzzly. Mm-hmm. Although you have to adjust your puzzle strategy based on what cards you get. Sure. I was very, very impressed by this one. And it's definitely one that it plays so quickly. Let's go again. Let's do 2 out of 3. It's that kind of game. So that's Dustbiters Pocket from Button Shy.
Oh, cute. That is one of the very few that I don't have, because I think I have like all the Button Shy ones. So
it could be because it's 2-player, Mandi, and sometimes
maybe I try not to take a lot of those.
It is 2-player only, and I didn't see a solo option for it. So anyway, there you go.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, folks, that does it with games we've been playing. We are going to serve up our game pie, our last game pie of the year. What we'll have to see what we serve up. All right, folks, it's time for your board game dessert. Game pie, for folks that aren't familiar with it, is when Mandi and I serve up a selection of games curated by our great taste and our whims. We hate ranking things, but we love baked goods, so it's not a top 10 or a top 5 or whatever. It's a game pie. And Mandi, we were, to wrap up the year, post-holidays, I mean, the holidays can be stressful for a variety of reasons on a lot of people, right?
Absolutely.
And if you're in the Northern Hemisphere like we are, the weather's not great. All my friends in Australia are like, woo, living it up. I have friends in South Africa, and they're sweltering down there. They were having a heat wave the other week. They were complaining about it. But for us, the weather's real dicey, that kind of thing. So what about comfort games? Just what are those go-to games that you want to play a game, you don't want to have to learn a new game, you can kind of teach it without checking the rule book, and you just know you're going to have a good time, right? You're kind of go-to in that moment. So we thought comfort games would be a nice way to wrap up the year.
Yeah, I think it's good. All right, well, I can jump in first, and mine's not going to be a huge surprise. I've mentioned a lot of these ones before, but my first slice of comfort game pie is Patchwork. And I know it's only 2-player, but that's because I play it with Mumsy, and Mumsy loves this game. So, it's one that, oftentimes I go in thinking, I'll just let her win one. Actually, no, she's quite good, and I don't need to let her do anything. She beats me and then lets me know how good she is at it. So making her quilt with those, polyomino tiles is like her jam. And so Patchwork is one that my copy is well used.
Mandi, is Mumsy into the spooky stuff as much as you are?
No, we're completely opposite. She loves Christmas. I'm not a fan of Christmas. I love Halloween. She's not crazy about it. But I think it's because she didn't grow up with Halloween. Like, that wasn't really a thing.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Do you have the Patchwork Halloween edition?
Of course I do.
Okay, good. Because, that's the one where they rebalance the tiles. So
love it. It's great.
Pull that one up. All right. First slice of comfort game pie for me is Forest Shuffle. I have completely fallen in love with this game. I just picked up the Dartmoor expansion, which is a standalone expansion. I just love how many options you have. I love those multi-use cards. I love the illustrations. I just love it. I think it's a fantastic game. I can teach it in a heartbeat. It has a good player range. It's, every time at the end of a game, I'm like, oh, what do you guys want to play? Forest Shuffle immediately pops to my personal mind all the time. So it had to go on my comfort game list.
That's a good one. I've been playing that one a lot too. It's quite good.
Yeah.
Next comfort pie on my list, my second slice, is Scrabble. Now, Scrabble's a little divisive, I'll be honest with you. I feel like there are some people that just really don't like word games. So this is not going to appeal to them. But there are some people like myself, my mom, my family. I love Scrabble. I have 3 Scrabble boards. So Scrabble's no joke in my house. And it's competitive, but fun competitive. And a great way to expand your vocabulary. I've learned so many words. I'm like, oh, I didn't think that was a word by playing Scrabble. But nice, have some hot chocolate, hang out, play some Scrabble, and, it's even fun choosing which board we shall play Scrabble on. So if you like word game spelling, this has been around forever. So Scrabble is one I thoroughly enjoy.
Hey, I love a classic game. I think that's awesome. Next slice up for me. This just, as soon as I thought of this game, I'm like, yeah, that one. And it's Come Sail Away. This is a game by Sashi and Sashi. And it's, again, a lot of these games are on my list are newer. And I was a little surprised by that when I saw it. And I'm sure, I could come up with more. But as soon as I thought of Come Sail, I'm like, yeah, I love this one. It's got the charming theme of you're going on an ocean voyage. It's got that lovely Sashi and Sashi illustration that I just find so adorable, and it's got that smooth gameplay that's a little puzzly where you're placing passengers into the ship and you're trying to complete your puzzle on your boat and you're getting extra actions and extra moves, and it just works. It's charming. Everybody I've taught it to loves it.
Yeah.
It's one of my all-time favorite Sashi games. I just think they nailed this,
Really?
and it's
Wow.
a little lighter. Like, I love Remember Our Trip.
Yeah.
But that's got a little more mechanically going on, and I just come sail away. It's like, toss it down, and we can be playing in a few minutes. I can teach it in a few minutes, and I always, always have fun with it.
No, that's so good. That's interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. It's a good game.
Yeah.
My third slice of pie, well...
I see this one. I love this.
I don't know how comforting it is for a lot of people, but in our house, that's just... I mean, we play dominoes, which, if you've ever been around people from the islands playing dominoes, that's all you need to know. Just look it up. You'll see. So this is tame compared to that. And that is euchre. And euchre's been around forever. I'm pretty sure you play euchre a lot too.
Yep. It's in the United States. It's huge in the Midwest.
Right.
And I have a ton of family from the Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those games. I think they have like clubs and competitions and all sorts of fun stuff. But euchre's just one of those games, you know, like to sit at the table after dinner, play it, chatting. Don't get me wrong. People are still trying to be like a little competitive, but they're like, it's fine, and just gonna laugh it off. So it's like the guise of comfort, but maybe it isn't. But that works in our household. So yeah. So if you like, I mean, I like trick-taking games in general. So euchre's been around for ages. If you've not tried it, it's one definitely I think you should give a go. And the rules are not too complicated, and you get to play in teams. I mean, that's fun. So euchre is one that does well at our house for comforting time.
Fantastic choice. I love you. Yes, I fully on board with the euchre. I've played a fair amount of it. Interesting. My mom is not into games, has never been into games. It's just not her thing, and that's fine. But euchre is the one game she would play in family gatherings growing up and things like that. So I have a lot of fondness for euchre.
Wow.
I love that.
Wow. Very cool.
Speaking of card games, next up for me, and again, a new game, but I'm in love with it, and it's The Gang.
Nice.
The Gang is the cooperative poker game that came out a couple of years ago, and I love poker, but then you throw this, and I could have maybe picked The Crew, I guess, as well, but I actually kind of like the Gang would be a more go-to comfort game for me, because interestingly enough, for me personally, I just have to think less than during The Crew. The Crew with the trick taking and trying to hit those specific goals, it just takes a little more brain work for me. But if I just want to chill and be goofy and relax and have fun, and it's The Gang. Because I've played a fair amount of poker in college, so the odds and the rankings are fairly natural for me. So for some people, this game will not be a comfort game at all, because either you don't like poker or you don't know how to play poker. You just don't have the same familiarity with like poker hand rankings and things like that. But for me, because I have that deep familiarity with it, and that plus that cooperative element to toss in on it, the social interaction of pushing the chips around and things like that, I love The Gang, and can toss it down anytime. Any game night, I will toss down the game and be happy about it.
Nice. Very cool. I think I still have not played this game, so I'll have to at some point. My last slice of cozy kind of comfort game pie is Oh My Goods. It's just a pocket size, multi-use card game that I think that's one of my most played games, period. And I just pull it out, teach it. It's pretty straightforward, and it still has like a little meat to it, but it's not overly like intense. So yeah, Oh My Goods is one of those ones I'll probably have forever and ever, and I think I have like all the extras too, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think they recently released an Oh My Goods big box edition.
Really?
And I have all, so this is the thing, I think I have all the Oh My Goods.
I think we have all of it, because I remember us having this discussion.
Because, well, we were at Spiel, we were in Europe when it was really coming out really popular. So we had access to that and made an effort. But I'm worried. I'm like, oh, what if I don't? And then I'm like, oh, this big box.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now as you're talking about it.
I'm like, ooh, maybe I get the big box. I also got a little bit of money for the holidays, and that's tempting. Great choice. I love Oh My Goods. Fabulous choice. My last slice of comfort games game pie, I could have included all roll and writes, of course, but I had to pick one. I had to get a roll and write into this list for me personally, and I selected Welcome To.
Nice.
Welcome to Your Perfect Neighborhood is the original Welcome To. Again, it's just, I can play it anytime. I can toss it down. I can teach it in a heartbeat. It has a great player range. It's got that everything about roll and write style games that I like in there. Of course, this is the flip and write and blah, 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 where you're doing that. The puzzle is intriguing and interesting, without being super stressful.
Right.
So, and that's exactly what I want in this kind when I think of a comfort game. And I think it inspired a ton of other games. Game designers who played Welcome to fell in love with it and were inspired by it and iterated and things like that. But the original stands strong. It still stands up as a phenomenal game in that genre. I love it. I have everything. Like I love it so much. So Welcome to. I can play that anytime.
Great choice. Love that game. Super strong.
See, everybody loves it. It's so good.
Exactly.
Well, there you go, folks. Comfort games to wrap up what I will call a tumultuous year. 2025, I gotta say, December 31st. See ya. Exactly. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, 2025. I'm ready to move on. There you go. So, folks, what games do you play as a comfort game? Those games that, when, like we described at the top, just your go-to, you're going to enjoy it, you can teach it, and you just have fun. I want to know what you're playing for those, because maybe your comfort game is Inish. I don't know. Everybody's different. You can always email us, saltandsassgames@gmail.com, with game pie ideas, questions about the games that we've been talking about, or 3D printers now, apparently. Yeah. You're always welcome to email us. Or you can chime in on our thread on our Board Game Geek Guild. That's Guild 4130 on BoardGameGeek.com. And every episode will have a little post, and you can reply in there. And from last episode, saw that. Hi, Jordan, again. I'll say hi. It's nice to see you there again. And that always works. You can also follow us or chat us up on the socials.
Yeah, if you could be watching this right now on the YouTube, or potentially check us out on the Twitch, and you can find us there at Salt and Sass Games. That's Salt and Sass Games. We're also on Blue Sky. Got a little professional there, so we're just Salt and Sass. So that's Salt and Sass. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at 613 Mandi. That's Mandi with an I. How about you, Suzanne?
And you can find me on Blue Sky. I am at 425 Suzanne. As always, it is a pleasure and privilege to be podcasting with you. Thank you so much for making us part of your extended gaming family and for being part of ours, because that's the beautiful thing about board games. Ultimately, so much of it comes down to being about the people.
Yep,
right?
Exactly.
That's
Absolutely.
You. That's you. That's amazing. I love that for us. I hope you had a good year. I hope no matter how good or stressful your 2025 was, I hope your 2026 is much, much better. I wish that for us all, Mandi.
Yes, agreed. Hopefully. Let's cross our fingers.
So looking forward, here's to 2026. Now, some of you may be wondering, because, this is when board game pundits and content creators start doing their top games of 2025. Sure. I'm like, I haven't played all of my games from 2025. I don't want to do a top games of 2025 before the year ends.
Sure.
Because we still have more to explore. So Absolutely. We will do, at some point, we will talk about our favorite games from the year. But Absolutely. It probably won't be for another month or so until we have time to kind of get through a few more titles.
We like to, keep you all on your toes. A little different from everybody else.
So, don't, hang out with us. If you have comments on your favorite games for 2025, feel free to share them now. That's no bother at all. Yeah. But until next year...
Yes.
Just take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Stay hydrated and play a lot of games. We'll see you next time. We'll see you next year.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. If you'd like to support the podcast, please check us out on coffee.com/saltandsassgames. Thank you for your support. We are also part of the Goonhammer Media Network. Check out more of their content on media.goonhammer.com. Salt and Sass is produced with love by Mandi and Suzanne, and we'll be back next episode with more salt, more sass, and more games.